Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss about skin called the jack of all trades. Why the jack of all trades? Because most of the functions of the body are performed through skin only. So first, the introduction of the skin. Skin, it is the outer protective covering of the body and it is the largest organ of all the body organs in a man. And skin along with the derivatives is called integumentary system of the body. What are the derivatives? Derivatives are the structure which are derived from the skin, such as hair, nails, glands. So skin along with hair, nails, glands, together they all are called integumentary system of the body. Now skin, it performs many functions. As has been told, it is protective in nature, but apart from it, it regulates body temperature. It helps in excretion also. It helps in receiving external stimuli such as heat, cold, pain, etc. And many other functions of the body are performed through skin only. So now we will understand about the parts of the skin. So this integumentary system of the body broadly has been divided into two categories: skin proper and skin derivatives. Skin proper, it is having two main layers of the skin: epidermis, this is outermost, and dermis, which is below it. And skin derivatives, these are hair, cutaneous glands, and nails. Cutaneous gland means the glands which are present in the skin or have been derived from the skin. These are again of three types: sweat or sudoriferous glands, sebaceous or oil glands, and mammary glands. So now we will discuss all these parts of the skin one by one. First, it is skin proper. Skin proper, as has been told, it is divided into two layers: epidermis and dermis. Epidermis, it is the outermost layer, and dermis is the layer below it, and dermis is also called corium or cutis vera. So now this is the general view of the skin, where you can see epidermis as the outermost layer, below it is dermis, and below the dermis there is subcutaneous tissue or subcutaneous layer which stores the fats also and attaches the layers of the skin with the muscles beneath, and these muscles are again attached with the bone below. So in this way all these parts of the body are attached with each other. Now you can see here, epidermis of the skin fits into the dermis by a system of ridges and grooves. You can see these ridges and grooves in the layer which has been shown in pink color here. The ridges of epidermis, they are fitting into the grooves of the dermis. So in this way these two layers fit into each other and are closely associated with each other. Now first we will discuss about epidermis. Now epidermis, it is the outermost part, as has been told, and it is made up of several layers of epithelial cells. Several layers of epithelial cells are present here. So this kind of epithelium is called stratified epithelium. So epidermis is made up of stratified epithelium, and the thickness of epidermis is not the same throughout the body. In some part of the body this epidermis is thick, and in other parts it can be thin also. And different layers of epidermis has been shown here in this diagram. These folds have been shown here. The lowermost layer you can see of epidermis, it is stratum vessel, then there is stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, stratum lucidum, and the outermost is stratum corneum. So the lowermost, it is stratum vessel, and moving outwards, stratum corneum is the outermost layer of the epidermis. Stratum vessel, it is also called stratum cylindricum or stratum germinativum, and now we will discuss in detail about all these layers. Stratum vessel first. Now stratum vessel, it is made up of a single layer of columnar or high cuboidal cells. Columnar means cylindrical cells, and cuboid, you all understand, the shape of the cells in this layer is either cylindrical or cuboidal. And this lowermost layer of epidermis, that is stratum vessel, it is separated from the dermis below by a basement membrane. So there is a membrane below this vessel which separates it from the dermis below. And this layer, stratum vessel, is also called stratum germinativum. Why? Because the cells of this layer, they divide actively. and they keep on adding the cells to the layer epidermis, and the older cells, they are shed at intervals, and the new cells are added by this layer, and the new cells which are produced, they are pushed outwards, and the older cells which are present in the outer periphery, they are shed at intervals. So in this way, this layer is also called Stratum Germinativum, and above it there is Stratum Spinosum. Now this layer is made up of cells which are polygonal in shape, and the plasma membrane of the cells, it lies very close to each other, and together these two layers, that is Statum Vessel and Stratum Spinosum, are called Statum Malpighi. So this is about the two lowermost layer of the epidermis. Now the third layer from below, it is Stratum Granulosum. Now this layer, it is made up of 2 to 5 rows of flattened rhomboid cells. Now the shape of the cells in this layer is rhomboid, and these are either 2 to 5 rows of these cells are present in this layer, and inside the cells there are these granules present called keratohyalin granules. These keratohyalin granules change into keratin later, and the cells of these layer, they contain nucleus inside them, but this nucleus start disappearing in the outer layers of this Stratum Granulosum. So this is the third layer from below, and above it there is Stratum Lucidum. Now this Stratum Lucidum is identifiable only in those parts where epidermis is very thick, and the cells of this layer contain a substance called alidine. Now alidine is an intermediate substance when this keratohyalin of Stratum Granulosum changes into keratin. So the middle part, intermediate substance called alidine is formed, which is present in the cells present in Stratum Lucidum. Next, the outermost layer, it is Stratum Corneum. Now the cells of this layer are dead and scale-like, and they are flattened at the surface, and these do not contain any nucleus, and the cytoplasm contains keratin or horn. Keratin, which is the keratohyalin of the lower layer, changes into keratin and is present here in the cytoplasm of these cells, and this layer, it is thick in the palms and soles of the body. This layer is waterproof. It does not allow the water to get inside the body. It is germ proof also. Germ cannot enter inside the body through this layer unless there is a cut on the body, and this layer is shed at intervals, means the new layer of cells keep on adding from the Stratum Vessel, and the older cells, they are shed at intervals, and these cells, the Stratum Corneum, these cells, they are shed off at intervals. So this is about the 5 layers of epidermis. The lowermost, it is Stratum Vessel, then Stratum Spinosum, then above it Stratum Granulosum, then Stratum Lucidum, and the outermost, it is Stratum Corneum, which is made up of scale-like dead cells which are without nucleus. Now this is the 5 layers, and the diagrams which is given in your book, I have focused only on the layers of epidermis. As you can see here, the lowermost layer, single layer of this cell, Stratum Vessel, is present here. Then above it, it has been shown Stratum Granulosum. Spinosum has not been shown here, and then above it there is Stratum Lucidum, and the topmost layer is Stratum Corneum, which is made up of dead scale-like cells. Now the color of the skin. Now color of the skin is also due to the pigment present in the epidermal cells. The lowermost layer of this epidermis called Stratum Vessel. There is a pigment melanin present in the lowermost layer of this epidermis, which gives the color to the skin. And one more factor is present here, which also gives the color to the skin, that is blood present in the capillaries beneath the epidermis. So some people, you must have seen, they are having this yellowish tone of the skin, some have this pink tone to the skin. That is due to the blood which is present in the capillaries beneath the epidermis. So these are the 2 factors on which the color of the skin depends. More the amount of melanin present in the cell, darker is the skin color. And this melanin, it is very useful for the body also. Why? Because it absorbs harmful rays of the sun, which are ultraviolet rays. So these ultraviolet rays are not allowed to penetrate deep into the body. These are absorbed at the surface. So in this way, this melanin acts as an umbrella and is a useful pigment for the body. Now in some people, this melanin pigment is not present same throughout the body. So there are some disorders of the skin which arise due to this condition. So there are these three disorders which arise due to abnormal pigmentation of the body. One is the freckles. Freckle is the disorder of the skin when melanin is present as spotted patches. So you can see in some people on the cheeks, these dark patches are present. Means melanin is present in more amount in some of the patches, and this condition is called freckles. And then next condition is leukoderma. In leukoderma, melanin is completely lost in patches, not throughout the body but in patches. The skin loses this melanin pigment, and this gives the disorder called leukoderma, and the exact cause of this disorder is still not known. And then the third disorder of the skin is albinism. Albinism, it is a hereditary disease, means the person gets it from the parents, and there is this complete absence of pigment, means melanin is not at all present in the body, whether it is hair or the skin. So it is complete absence of melanin pigment. So these are the three disorders of the skin due to abnormal pigmentation. So in this video, we had discussed about the 5 layers of the epidermis. The lowermost, it is Statum Vessel, which is also called Stratum Germinativum. Then above it, Stratum Spinosum. Then above it, Stratum Granulosum. Then Stratum Lucidum, and the outermost is made up of dead cells called Stratum Corneum, which is shed at intervals also. Then we discussed about the color of the skin, which is dependent on 2 factors, that is blood present in the capillaries beneath the epidermis and the amount of melanin pigment present in the skin, and then the disorders of the skin due to abnormal pigmentation. In the next video, we will discuss about the dermis in detail. So you have to revise all this carefully. You can make notes also. You can take screenshot of the video also if you find some of the parts useful, and you have to revise it before the next video I upload. Thank you.